Are you getting enough choline? During pregnancy, choline is a key nutrient for your baby's brain development. If you're not sure, stay tuned for more information about this essential nutrient. Well, I'm very excited to introduce you all to the wonderful Wendy. Thanks for coming and joining us today, Wendy.
Thanks for having me.
So can you tell everyone just a bit about what you do and why you specialise in this area?
Yeah, so I'm a dietitian and the area that I specialise in is women's health, fertility, pregnancy and postnatal nutrition. I'm also a mum myself, and so I've recently been through my own fertility and pregnancy experience, and I love working with women at all stages on their fertility and pregnancy journeys, and I'm just really passionate about sharing, the huge amount of research that we have on the importance of nutrition in this period.
Fantastic. So today we're talking about choline in particular, and so why is there so much buzz about this nutrient in particular?
Yeah, so choline is a really important nutrient. It's an essential nutrient that's part of the B group family of vitamins, and when I say essential, it means that we have to get it from food in order to function properly, so we can make a little bit of ourselves, but not as much as we need. And it has so many important roles in the body. So one of its most important roles is as a methyl donor. So it's needed for the synthesis of DNA and for gene expression, so whether our genes are turned on and off. It also is really important for the brain and the nervous system as well. And actually all cells in the body need choline because it's part of the cell membrane. So many important roles, but it hasn't had too much attention up until recently, that is, because we're learning more and more about just how important it is during pregnancy.
So why is it particularly important during this time of life?
So it's really important for the development of the growing baby in pregnancy, and in particular for the development of the brain stem and the spinal cord. And so it's really important in preventing neural tube defects. Just like folate, which people seem to know a lot more about. But studies have shown that even if a woman has enough folate in her diet, if she doesn't have adequate choline, she's actually still at a higher risk of neural tube defects. So that's one reason that it's so important in pregnancy. It also seems to be important for cognitive performance, and so studies have shown that higher choline intakes in pregnancy are associated with improved cognitive performance in the baby that lasts into later life as well.
Right, fantastic. Yeah. So do we need higher amounts of choline during pregnancy like we do some other nutrients?
Yeah, we absolutely do. At the moment, the guidelines only recommend quite a modest increase in pregnancy. So before pregnancy, it's 425 milligrams that you need, and then this just increases to 440 milligrams in pregnancy, and then it increases again when breastfeeding. But what's concerning is that there's been some recent research into the choline intakes of the Australian population, and they've found that less than 1% of women are actually meeting these requirements. Whoa. So we do need to be having more choline. And then on top of that, those recommendations are sort of based on fairly old data, and more recent research is showing benefits to the baby at amounts almost double this.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. And so what about too much choline? Is there a problem with taking too much of it?
Yeah, so there is an upper level of intake set for choline, which basically is the amount that we're advised not to have more of. And if we exceed this level, then it can cause things like vomiting, fishy body odour, excess
We don't want
sweating,
that.
things that aren't very nice, even liver toxicity at high amounts. There's also been a study that showed that higher levels of choline were associated with maternal anxiety and depression, but other studies have shown sort of the very opposite of this. But that being said, so although we don't want to exceed this upper level of intake, that's set at 3,500 milligrams, so it really is very high, and you wouldn't meet that amount with food intake. So just to put it into context, eggs are one of the best sources of choline, and you need to eat 23 eggs in a day to get
not
to
too
that
many
amount.
pregnant women doing that.
So it's more high dose supplements that I would be worried about.
So in terms of food, so you said that eggs are one of the best sources of choline. What other foods can we get our choline intake from?
Yeah, so there are quite a few other sources. Eggs are a very good one, and you just need 2 eggs to meet more than 50% of your requirements. Other sources are beef is another good source, chicken and fish are other good sources, soybeans, some other plant-based sources are broccoli and Brussels sprouts, potatoes as well, and quinoa, milk and yogurt are good sources too. So there are quite a lot of different sources, but what's really important, because we do need quite a bit of choline in pregnancy, is to try and include them throughout your day in pregnancy. Yeah,
and so like I always say, if your diet consists of pizza and chocolate bars, you're probably not going to be meeting those nutrient requirements, are we?
Exactly right. So it's about having a varied diet with lots of fresh whole foods. And I guess one other thing to mention, although I say eggs are a great source of choline, is in pregnancy we need to be particularly mindful of food safety, so making sure that your eggs are well cooked and that you're storing those properly.
Yeah, great tip. And what about supplements? Do most pregnancy supplements contain choline then?
So at the moment most actually don't in Australia, and that includes the bigger and more well-known brands. They don't actually have choline. You can get it in, there are a few supplements that do have it, but the majority don't. I do wonder if this will change fairly soon, as we're becoming more and more aware of the importance of the nutrient in pregnancy. And in America this is certainly looking to change, and the American Medical Association has now voted to recommend evidence-based amounts of choline in all of the prenatal supplements there. So I think that this will change shortly.
Okay. Well, some fantastic tips. Thank you so much for your time today, Wendy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. And so from you guys, a couple of things that I would love you to do. First of all is I would love you to comment in the chat box below what's one of the key things that you've learnt today, because by actually writing it out, it really helps us to cement those messages in our brain and to remember them. So yeah, let us know what's one of the best things that you've learnt from Wendy today. And then secondly, if you would like help to optimise your pregnancy diet, if you're not sure what to be eating, one of the best things that you can do is download my free pregnancy meal plan. So for that, just go to www.melaniemcgrice.com/pregnancy, and then make sure that you subscribe so that you do get my weekly videos to keep providing you with all of the dietary tips on how to really optimise your diet during pregnancy. So with that, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Are we rolling? It is very exciting.